Making It in Botswana, a TV show that takes you on a behind-the-scenes look at how everyday items are manufactured right here in Botswana. Making It in Botswana, brought to you by Botswana Investment and Trade Center. Go Botswana! Today on Making It in Botswana, we learn how our all-time favorite local mili meal White Star is made. We then head out to Palape where Makoro Bricks makes those sturdy bricks known as face break. This is Making It in Botswana. Somewhere in the heart of Gaborone West Industrial operates a company called Bokomo Botswana. Bokomo was established in October 2003 when Pioneer Foods Pty Ltd of South Africa and PF Brink Pty Ltd of Botswana joined forces to produce maize meal, wheat flour and table eggs. The mandate to management was to continuously add value to their customers. Something that perhaps you didn't know, Bokomo Botswana has an extensive distribution network. You're likely to find Bokomo products in almost every retail, wholesale and food service outlet in the country. This is Making It in Botswana.
Bokomo Botswana is a wheat and maize milling company that was established in 2003 as a joint venture between PF Brink Pty Limited, a Botswana registered company, and Pioneer Foods Pty Limited of South Africa. Its head office is situated in G West in Gaborone, and its operational activities are mainly focused on milling, packaging, warehouse and distribution. Bokomo maintains high standards of quality and safety management in its milling operations, evident from its attainment of the Botswana Bureau of Standards BOS ISO 9001 quality standards in 2015. Fully automated packaging machines are used to ensure consistency and efficiency. In addition to maize and wheat products, the company also packages refined sugar. Transportation of our products to various customers is outsourced to empower Batswana entrepreneurs, and our distribution footprint spans across the entire Botswana. Bokomo had a staff complement of around 700 team members, but recently unbundled the poultry business. This poultry business is now running as a separate business unit with a staff complement of around 300, leaving 400 team members employed at Bokomo. These numbers exclude our contracted service providers like transporters, security, as well as the cleaning staff. Bokomo Botswana is a proud local company that has been established for the people in Botswana, and we encourage you to continue to support us so that we can support our industry. Go out and buy Bokomo quality products.
Today on Making It in Botswana, however, our attention goes to these corn cobs. These corn cobs are what makes the fluffy white refined maize that we have come to know and love as White Star maize meal. The product is received in these tipper trucks. Before entering the Bokomo premises, the tipper trucks wait outside for verification that they don't have any infestation or noxious seeds and conform to the quality specifications as per contract or national grading regulations. After the moisture content and other statutory requirements are made in the laboratory, the product is then allowed into the production process. According to the Botswana Agricultural Marketing Board, or BAM, the total maize production expected in the country this year is 11,000 tons versus the 72,000 tons of maize that are milled every year here at Bokomo. The first production point is the storage department, where the product goes into these two silos with a capacity of 3,600 tons. The first process is called the screens room, where the maize is cleaned and all foreign material removed. This includes all organic and inorganic material not part of the wholesome maize kernels. There is water added to the maize to soften the outer hull and germ part of the kernel, and the maize lies for a short time in conditioning bins for all the water to be absorbed. Here, a little bit of surface water is added just because the maize is fed into high-speed friction machines that actually uses an abrasive action to separate the germ and the hull from the maize endosperm. The separated particle is used for animal feed and the clean broken maize is sent to the milling process. The product then goes into the actual milling process. Milling consists of two processes, the grinding and sifting process. The product goes into these rolls, called milling rolls. It then passes through a sifting process. Maize meal is harvested every 4 hours during this process. These specialists we see here are kept very busy during the process of production of maize meal. Samples are regularly taken to the lab to ascertain whether enough nutrients are inside the meal. If the nutrients are found lacking, the appropriate nutrients are added back into the meal. This process is called fortification. After fortification, the product then goes into packaging. White Star maize meal is packaged in 5 kg, 10 kg, 12.5, 25 and 50 kg packages. The packaged product then goes into the warehouse. The warehouse has a very high turnover, so it's good to know that the product only sits in the warehouse for a maximum of 1 week before being transported to your favorite outlet. There is a lot that is made from this corn cob. From this, maize rice, samp, White Star Super and special maize meal is extracted. This is Making It in Botswana. Let us head off to Makoro bricks. The walls that keep our families safe, the walls that house our valuables, our lives, the material that lays the foundation for everything that we hold dear. Bricks. Ever wonder how they are made? In today's episode of Making It in Botswana, we take you on the voyage of how bricks are made in the quiet town of Palape in a company called Makoro Bricks.
Makoro is a business registered under the company laws of Botswana, regulated by Mines and Quarries Act. We are situated in Makoro village, 20 kilometers to Palape. from Gaborone. We've been existing for the past 30 years. We do have 313 employees where we work. We have 2 shifts during the day, and we have a night shift as well. We distribute our products to South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Namibia. Our vision as Makoro for the next 5 years is to be able to meet our demand. That is why we are running another expansion, 300 million expansion, which we would want to double up the production capacity that we currently doing. Currently we are running at 4.5 million bricks per month, in a full month, and of 50 to 60% is export. We do have opportunities for local business. We outsource most of our sections, which are boiler making, which is part of the engineering. We are outsourcing our construction of those skillets that we are actually running on the building that we are currently seeing at Makoro. It's outsourced to local businesses. We do have a product range of our face brick and water storage tanks with drinking troughs for the cattle and flower pots from our Makoro tank technologies. I would ask Batswana to buy our products, the face brick, because we are the best producers of our face brick and of quality.
This is Making It in Botswana. Let us begin the journey of how clay bricks are made. It all begins here. This is what is called open cast mining. The mining is done in layers called benches. As you can see, the layers are staggered in what looks like steps. This type of mining is done for safety reasons, so the mine doesn't collapse or cave in. The red soil is called topsoil. The topsoil is put aside for rehabilitation. This means that when the mine has reached its expiry, the topsoil is then used to cover up the mine so that a gaping hole is not left. The excavator machine picks up the layers from the quarry and loads them onto the dump trucks. There are 2 plants at Makoro Bricks. This is the crushing plant, which crushes the raw materials, and making plant, where the bricks are made. Below the topsoil are the 4 different types of clay that are used for the bricks. At Makoro, there is a unique type of lingo used to differentiate the layers of clay. These layers are named according to the various colors. The layers being clip, bulldoze, yellow, and pink. The bulldoze is at the very bottom. This is a very hard layer that only a bulldozer can penetrate, hence the name. From the hopper, it will follow into what is called a jaw crusher. As the stone goes down, the jaw crusher will break it into tiny pieces. The stone starts at a density of 300 milliliters. The crusher will break it down to 50 milliliters. The powder will then fall onto a conveyor belt. The conveyor belt feeds the sand into what is called inkler plan. The inkler pan will mill the clay further. As you can see here, the inkler pan has a plate at the bottom with a wheel that turns the clay. The fine material falls through a sieve which will only allow clay of 6 mm or finer to pass through it. It will then go onto another belt and into 2 streams into a multi-deck sieve, which secs the material vigorously. All the fine material falls through to another belt and goes into the making plant. The coarse material which doesn't make it through the screens will be redirected to the Stedman machine for further crushing and returned back to the screen. Only the finest material will fall through the screens for brick making. The final material then goes into storage, ready for brick making at about 10% moisture. From the crushing plant, the material is received in the making plant. The material gets loaded with a loader and goes into another hopper which goes round the belt. Sometimes coal from the silo is added here to make the color appear on the face of the brick. The mixer turns and mixes the clay and the water together. The mixed product then goes into another mixer and then into a vacuum chamber. All the air is sucked out of the clay at this point. The clay then comes into this machine in a circular motion and gets forced through these 3 rods to form the holes in the bricks. "11,000 bricks per hour are produced with this machine. This sausage-looking product, called the slug, then goes into the slug cutter, which will cut the product to belt size of 18 bricks long. The pusher will then push the cut slug through another cutter called the push-through cutter. The product then goes through a turntable and into a setting machine. Interestingly, clay brick making is very environmentally friendly. If there are any damaged bricks, they get crushed and recycled, so there's very little waste. After setting, the product then goes onto this pallet table, and then the bricks are manually packed onto these pallets ready for collection by the forklift. The forklift then takes the product into the packing machine. All it's doing is taking the bricks off the steel pallet and packing it onto the car. The car then moves out and back to the making plant, leaving only the bricks behind. The transfer car will then move the bricks onto these 3 tracks. From here, the bricks then go into kiln wagons. The kiln wagons first take the bricks through tunnel dryers. The wagon then goes into a tunnel kiln. There are 2 dryers and 2 kilns. There is a 42-hour cycle to ensure the product is sufficiently baked. Let's get into the control room to see the baking process. This is the control room. This is where the temperatures for the dryers and the kilns are controlled. The product gets monitored as it travels through the dryer through this kiln. All the fuel used to burn the bricks is from burning coal, which is received from Murupule. That's the only raw material imported here for brick making. In this particular process, the bricks go into the kiln from the dryer at 130 degrees. The temperature in each kiln reaches a whopping 1120 degrees. The bricks are then sorted manually according to their respective colors. This is the highest labor process. The product is packed to what is called a cube and then strapped with a strapping belt. The forklift will then lift each cube into the holding bay. The whole day's production will get put here. The next morning, all products are inspected to ensure that the product goes into the right bins and is the right classification. A normal truck can take 120,000 individual bricks. Makoro currently supplies to Namibia, South Africa, Zambia and Botswana. Only the surplus product is supplied to the SADC region. We have come to an end of this segment of Making It in Botswana. Remember, if your house needs a facelift, or if you're building a house from scratch, renovating, or simply want a feature wall, Makoro Bricks is a phone call away. Next time on Making It in Botswana, Kalahari Canvas takes us through the process of making a quality canvas, and we learn how to make serobe the right way with setso.